everyone, my name is Marielle King, and today I'm going to be talking about the professional dispositions of teachers and how my own personal thoughts and beliefs kind of tie into them and the classroom, going through the questions that we were given as a class. So the dispositions that I possess, and I think that are strong for me personally, are compassion. I am compassionate to a fault. I will take any sob story and try to make everything happen. I feel like that could be to my disadvantage as well as to my advantage, allowing my students to come to me and tell me their problems rather than me trying to figure out what's going on, but also using me to get out of assignments or whatever they decide to do. So I think I'm going to have to really try and gauge that a little bit. And then I also have very high expectations. I have very high expectations of myself, my husband, my own children, my family, my friends. And I think it betters the people around me. The people around me have said it helps better them when I have the higher expectation of this is what I expect. Mostly it's respect and responsibility, which I think are pretty basic, normal, standard expectations. But in this day and age, I guess they're high expectations. I'm also really into fairness. I understand that life's not fair, but when students and children are growing, a certain level of fairness needs to happen. You can't just turn to a student and say life's not fair. Suck it up. There will be, of course, always instances in which life is not going to be fair. But for me as a teacher, it is my job to be as fair as possible to all of my students, no matter what the circumstances, no matter who they are, what they believe, what they think. Fairness needs to stay strong in the classroom, I believe. And some dispositions that I need to work on are professional conduct, in the sense that I get too personal. I get too in with the kids. I tend to give too much of myself to people who I might not necessarily want to give too much to myself. So I think reining myself in and keeping myself professional with my students is gonna be a little difficult. And then a certain level of understanding is also hard for me. I don't like ignorant people. It's very hard for me to not call people out when they're being ignorant or unintelligent. So learning to come at that in a kind, caring way, whilst still remembering that they are students, they're learning, they're children, they're learning, they're growing, and putting myself in their shoes. I think that's gonna be a little bit harder, but it's something I've been working on pretty much my entire life. So hopefully by the time I'm in the classroom with my students, I'll have figured that one out. As a blanket statement for all professional educators, there are, I think, just a few things that are a blanket statement for the attributes that they should possess, such as all the professional dispositions that are listed on our GCU by the College of Education. And I think standards of thinking for professional educators should be along the lines of, how would I want a teacher to address my kid? If my kid was struggling, how would I want them to help them? If my kid was excelling, how would I want to push them farther? So I think thinking kind of along the lines of the dedication, being dedicated to the children as much as you would be your own. I think that's a good guideline to kind of get that. And some negative and positive influences on the psychological and moral development of adolescents would be, I believe, professionalism. So if you are not a professional in your classroom, you are teaching your students that it is okay to not act professional in a work setting. If you are acting professional, you are showing your students what a professional really looks like. You can either help students respect and understand authority, or if you are giving them negative experiences, it tends to turn them away from authority and not like that. And then it can affect academics. It could affect, it could affect where they go in life, how if they get into college or not. Teaching them how to learn is really can be a huge positive or negative effect on students. And then to uphold all these standards that I've been talking about and to make myself the best teacher I can be, I plan on just being true to myself and dedicating myself to my students, because that's just what they really need. They need me to be honest with myself and with them, and they need me to be dedicated to their learning. And I think I will promote healthy moral development with my students, because every moment in a child's life is a teaching moment, whether it's how to think things through, how to be professional, or just, how to care, just showing empathy and understanding to your students, I think is a huge way to teach them how to do it for others. So those are just some of my thoughts on the dispositions of teachers. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I hope you have a fantastic week. Thank you.